What's going on, YouTube? You're watching Big Brother's Perspective. Let's get to the truth. Now, everybody's talking about Nicki Minaj's appearance at Turning Point USA. But what if I told you that this wasn't even about a sudden change in political heart? Because while everybody's focusing on her calling Trump handsome and dashing, I mean, who uses that word anymore? It sounds like some shit you read from a 1940s romance novel. But anyway, she was saying that Trump and JD Vance are real men. She's telling the mega crowd that they're the cool kids now. And she called Governor Gavin Newsom new scum. And when she was asked by Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, what would she like to leave in the world, she went on to say that it's okay to change her mind. And I'm guessing she was talking about her criticism of Trump's immigration policy back in 2018 and other bullshit. And it did look like she was kissing ass to where she was cooning and buffooning, selling out. But see, there's a much deeper, more transactional story happening behind the scenes. This ain't just a political endorsement. It's a business deal. And Nicki Minaj wasn't at Turning Point because she fell in love with MAGA. She's there because she's playing a high stakes game of survival. And I'm going to talk about why Nicki might be acting as what you call as a contractor for the administration and what she might be getting back in return. But I want y'all to listen to this video for a second because trust me, it's not what you think. Now, let's look at the facts. Nicki Minaj is sitting on that stage with Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. And before Charlie Kirk was assassinated back in September, he was on record calling Nicki Minaj a bad influence on young black girls. He didn't respect her music or her community, and yet she's still there because Nicki wants something from Trump. And when people feel pressured or stuck, they often choose power over their own personal values. And right now, Nicki Minaj don't care about the negative things Charlie Kirk had said about her in the past because she's only thinking about how Trump can help her in the future. And MAGA wants something from her. They want her there to make their movement look more diverse and trendy. They ain't working together because they agree on things, but because they are both using each other to get what they want. And Nicki Minaj is being smart with it too, because for one, she's using the Nigeria crisis as her shield by standing with Trump's United Nations ambassador to fight for persecuted Christians. She's giving herself a moral pass. She ain't just saying, I like Trump, but she's also saying, I'm standing up for my brothers and sisters in Nigeria who are being killed for their faith, because she knows if she did that, she would look like she's fighting for Nigerians and would use that when people call her a sellout. She knows that this Nigerian situation will make her look like a humanitarian. She's using a global crisis to justify sitting at a table with people who just a few years ago didn't even want her in the room. But you can always tell when someone is faking or reciting a script that they don't believe in, because on that stage, Nicki looked at Erica Kirk, a woman whose husband was literally shot and killed, and called JD Vance an assassin. And that whole room went silent for a minute. And Nicki covered her mouth, and Erica Kirk, she was like, forgiving about it. She kind of laughed it off, told her it was okay. But see, the thing was that Nicki messed up the political language she was supposed to use because she doesn't actually believe in the cause. And that whole interaction was awkward because it was fake. And the Turning Point USA used Nicki Minaj's appearance to make it okay for white leaders to say racially insensitive things, because by having a famous black woman on stage with them, they felt that they had a pass or a shield, against, being called racist. Because right after Nicki's appearance, JD Vance told the crowd, in the United States, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. And he made that bold statement only because Nicki Minaj had just got done praising him. And this organization used her presence to soften the impact of their racist, controversial messages. So why is Nicki Minaj doing all this? Look at the math. She has a brother who's serving 25 years to life for predatory sexual assault. And she also has a husband who's a registered sex offender, constantly being hauled back into federal court for probation violations. Now, personally, I think those brothers should never see the light of day if they actually did those things, because that's pretty fucked up. And now, if they were falsely accused and they were innocent, then that's different. and I would agree with what Nicki's strategy is. But Trump likes to pardon criminals, and when she's faced with that kind of legal emergency, then she ain't looking for a leader. She's looking for a signature, because one stroke of Trump's pen could give a pardon for a brother or take the federal leash off her husband. So it's a trade-off. Nicki Minaj ain't at that event because she truly believes in the politics, but because she's trying to use her influence to buy help from the government for her family members' serious legal problems. And here's the bottom line: when we see some of these black celebrities rocking with MAGA, they're doing it because it benefits them personally. They want something from that movement that they can't get anywhere else. Because I don't think any normal, sane black person in their right mind would support MAGA just because, if they actually knew what the movement really represents. They're not joining a movement, they're negotiating with it. They know the history and they know the rhetoric, but they've decided that their personal benefit is worth more than the culture, their fans, and how many followers they get on Instagram. And it's sad and fucked up that they got to go that low. And a lot of these woke celebrities are attacking Nicki Minaj right now for it. But it's easier, it's easy to be a woke celebrity when you don't need a signature from the Oval Office, because when you're standing in front of a lifeline, it's hard to stay a critic. And Nicki Minaj is using Trump for a lifeline while he's using her for an image, and that's just the truth. And that's exactly why we need to stop worshiping these celebrities, because their circumstances are not our circumstances. Nicki Minaj ain't voting for our rent. She's fighting for her brother's freedom. Nicki Minaj ain't worried about our local schools. She's worried about federal pardons. So instead of looking at these mega black celebrities, we need to be looking at our local politicians. We need to be looking at the people who actually affect the ground we walk on. And I just think we shouldn't let what celebrities do for themselves change what we believe, because they're using the system to better their own lives. And it's time that we start doing the same. But think about that. But this is Big Brother's Perspective. I'm out. Peace.